What is your favorite place to be?
I mean, I'm a homebody.
Same.
I like to go on vacation and go do stuff, but like ultimately I like to be, if it ain't the beach, it's my house.
I know. My goal is to one day work very hard and have a beach house.
There you go.
There
you go. The best of both worlds.
Exactly. Same. I love my house.
Mm-hmm.
I love to just hang out on the couch in my comfy clothes with a good movie or Netflix series.
I was going to say a good Netflix show to binge.
And some snacks.
Yep.
And I'm good to go.
Same. I think that's a great question for this topic. So today we're talking about staycations. So what is your definition of a staycation?
My definition of a staycation is to shut off kind of from the outside world and to re-explore the love of your home. To hang out at home, to not really venture out, but a little bit of just enjoying the area around you.
Yeah.
But home, not having to necessarily go out and stay in a hotel anywhere.
Yeah. So for me, when I think of a staycation, I think to be a tourist in your own town. And not even really just like your own town, but like, within an hour, maybe 2-hour drive, something that's a day trip kind of thing. Like that to me still kind of qualifies as a staycation because, you're not staying anywhere. You're driving there, you're doing your thing, and then you're coming on back. So that's kind of what I think of when I think of staycation. So, so what are some staycations that y'all have done? That obviously I know you sound like you're like, I want to lock my door, close the curtains.
Yeah, please don't stop by. We're not available for visitors.
We're gonna pretend like nobody's home.
My favorite are actually when we've stayed in hotels locally. A couple years ago, we had a family member doing a vow renewal.
Okay.
And it was downtown Baton Rouge. It was not super far. We could have technically driven home.
Yep.
But we decided to get a hotel in the hotel block, which we were able to walk to the ceremony and stay for the reception. We went and had a nice dinner before. Yeah. And it was just nice. No, it wasn't super far, but that experience feels so different than like the day-to-day.
Yeah.
So, and you get to re-explore like why you still stay where you stay. Yeah. But I like those, like actually just not even staying at home, but getting a hotel in my local city. Yeah. And go and have a nice dinner somewhere.
We've done that a time or two. The last time I was in a wedding was here in Baton Rouge, and we got a room in the room block. It would have been easy to drive on home because it was a 20-minute drive, but I think there is something special about that, and it makes the occasion feel a little more special too.
Yeah.
And we were able to just walk around, so you can have your cocktails and your drinks and not really worry about having to get home or whatnot. So I like that. My favorite that we've ever done is we took a day trip to Covington.
Okay. Oh yes.
And we did a brewery tour out there, and so there was sadly it's not there anymore, but there was this little brewery called Covington Brewery.
Oh yeah.
Very small. We were literally like, the people who make the beer were over there at the bar serving us beer, and they're like, oh, you should try this one. Let me give you a little taste of this, see if you like it. And so I think that there's something really cool about like connecting with other like local business owners and just like having that connection that the person, you can ask all the crazy intimate questions as far as like, well, how do you do this and how do you do that? Like a regular bartender would probably never know the answer to some of the things that we asked. And so we did that, and then we went to Abita, which is our huge brewery, probably our biggest brewery in Louisiana, I would assume.
Yeah.
And did the tour there and drank, and then we went and had lunch at, it used to be called Friends, and it was on the river out in, I guess it was in more like, was that in Mandeville? I don't know. I just remember it was on the water, and it was so nice. We sat on the porch. We went with my brother and sister-in-law. And it was just like, it was pre-kids for both of us. It was a great day. Like we spent the whole day, and then I think we ended up at like a little antique shop at the very end of the day, just doing like some light shopping. And so that's probably, when I think staycation, that's probably like the best and most fun that we've done. But we've done stuff, all around, in and around Baton Rouge, like New Orleans makes a great
It does.
day trip,
I don't know a life without kids because I've had them for so long. But we've done it to where my sister and I, we both have girls around. Well, I have a nephew now, but we have kids around the same age.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've done it to where we've gotten a hotel in downtown New Orleans, and it was like our version of a slumber party with our girls. And like, I mean, kids just love a hotel. They don't care where it is.
How many of them have to sleep in the same bed?
They don't care. It's fun. We get to eat out. We get to sleep in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And just enjoy a different experience. And as simple as it was, I think we did like the Riverwalk hotels to where we got to just walk to the aquarium and like you're so close to like downtown to all these great food spots, you know. So just, it wasn't simple. It wasn't long enough of a drive to get the "are we there yet" questions, which I greatly appreciate.
Oh man, nothing worse.
But to just get to enjoy a good 24 hours.
Yeah.
Of somewhere a little bit further from home, but not, super far. So.
Agreed. Our last New Orleans trip, we did right now, which I don't think it's a permanent fixture, but it's been there probably a year. The Van Gogh, the Living Van Gogh exhibit, and Dustin's a big Van Gogh fan. Dustin really likes artwork, and I mean, I enjoy it too. He's been an art fan early on in life. And so we went and did that, and that was really cool. And we took Levi. He tolerated it decently well until finally he was like, okay, I'm done. But they have that room at the very end that you just sit in it, and they bring his paintings to life, and it's a 360. Like, it's really, really fun and cool. So if the Van Gogh exhibit is coming to a city near you, wherever you're listening, go. It is like $50. It's so worth it. It's a really, really cool experience. So we did that. Then we went and ate lunch somewhere and got ice cream, and then did some like shopping and stuff. But that was our last day trip. We don't really get hotels and stay a lot, but we will go take like a day trip somewhere, which I'm itching to take a day trip to New Orleans for the aquarium that just opened.
It is awesome.
So what are some other topics that, like, I'm thinking things people could do no matter where they're listening? And I don't know if this is an exclusive to Louisiana thing, but we have what's called Restaurant Week. Yeah. And I feel like that's probably something that other cities have too. And that's been really fun for us to do because they do these prefix menus.
I was sad because Restaurant Week was when we were out of town. Yeah. So I was in Nashville, and I was like, man, because those menus are things like sometimes are exclusive to that week.
Yes.
So you get to try it, or they're the pairings and things like that.
Yeah.
So like I love it because they usually have some of my favorite restaurants on those lists to get to go and try at least one of them.
Yeah. And then it's a prefix menu, so there's a set price.
Yeah. And
you just say, okay, you have 3 appetizers, 3 entrees, 3 desserts kind of thing to choose from. And so I love that. We've tried a lot of new restaurants that way. So I feel like that would be a great staycation type idea of like, you could just literally take the week and go to a new restaurant every night of the week and whether it's Restaurant Week or not, you could do that. But just picking new restaurants and new places to go explore in your own city, I think, is a great way to do a staycation.
I like when we get to do, and we don't get to do this with the kids, of course, but like when we go make time to do like the spa days at the local spas.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Just a bit of, I find like staycations are more of like a recharging kind of thing. Not necessarily always new experiences, but like, hey, I want to disconnect. Mm-hmm. And so I can recharge. So like what things that will like fill me up. Yeah. So like just going to the spa to have a relaxing time, I think are some of the best memories. And then I love when we take the girls to Perkins Row, and we do like the movies and dinner and the bookstore. Just we make it like that can become a whole day experience because I mean movies aren't coming any shy of 2 hours anymore. What happened to your hour and a half movie?
They're all at least like if they're shy of 2 hours, it's like 10 minutes. You know, an hour and 50 minutes is like I feel like the minimum you get these
30
days.
minutes of credits, not credits or trailers, you know. So just when we find we can carve out a day and we're not engaged in any kind of outside, like we have this event to go to or you have work to do. Like when we can just kind of shut off and find things to do, like not far from home or, I mean, making those movie days at home.
Yeah.
So
when you like get like the air mattress or like we have an ottoman, so like we like push it into the corner so it's like this huge square. And you get the blankets and the popcorn and the the candy, like the whole nine. And
have you seen the movie like almost like a charcuterie board or whatever, where you have like the popcorn and like all your array of candies?
No, but I need
and it's
this.
Like almost it's so you set up this tray and it's cool for like so Friday nights at our house are family fun nights.
Yeah.
So we'll pick something that we all watch together. No devices, everybody's cell phones, tablets, put them away. You know, so last Friday we did an actual charcuterie board, but then we seen one that we want to do where it's like we put like the girls like a particular type of Twizzlers,
right,
and like whatever candies that we like or cookies, and then you have your popcorn, and it's just like cool because it's like a concession stand, but at your own house for a fraction of the price.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So, but just to like make a fun thing at home, like something so kind of special, probably really memorable without necessarily feeling like you gotta go out to enjoy that experience.
I feel like I need to do that. Like we do watch movies a lot, and Levi loves movies, but to really, and we'll pop popcorn, but like to do a charcuterie board with like all the fixins and stuff, like it makes it feel, I think that's an important thing, is that when you do the little extra touches to make it special, that's what really sets just being at home away from being a staycation in my head, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, you want it to be special. You want it to be something fun.
Yeah.
But we've gotten really into, the older the girls got, like how important those Friday nights are. They're like sacred. So, like if somebody's like, hey, do you guys want to go out and do this? And we're like, no, it's, you know, this day is like for that. But then, you know, I have those staycation days where like I may carve it out in the middle of the week where I know everybody's gone, and I'm like, hey, like, look, Sheree and I are planning our staycation day for Virgin River release.
Oh, yeah, that's a must.
To be clear, y'all are going to hear about it until it comes out, because I'm like really hyped up. And so then after that, I think it'll be Bridgerton. But literally, I will make sure I've done all my work carved out. So, like, when I just give up on the outside world until I finish the series.
We should go ahead and plan the day. Like, look at the week it releases and go, all right, what day are we, like, binging? Yeah. And, like, do it together. And because you know me, I got to plan ahead of time. I got to, like, really carve out that time.
Well, like, I'm all in usually on that day. And then you're, like, catching up. And I'm like, girl,
I know.
You missed it.
She called me the last time. Obviously, Virgin River is like one of our favorite shows. And she was like, that last scene, you're going to be like, that bee. And I was like, what? And so then I had to like hurry up and binge it all because you were ahead of me. And I was like, well, now I got to know. Like, I like am torn between binging it all because I want to see it and like trying to savor it and drag it out a little bit because I want it to last, you know? Like, I don't know what the better thing to do is, but you're a binger. I know you are. And I am too, but when it comes to like my favorite shows, I'm like, I really want it to like really last. So
it's hard now because shows are kind of like taking longer times to come back. So when they're done, you're like, oh, I gotta wait a whole year? Like, that's hard.
Well, because you think like, I mean, think about like prime time. Like, we used to watch TGI Fridays on ABC. I feel like that was like the thing. Yeah.
We've recently gotten our girls into like Family Matters and Step by Step.
Yes.
And so it's funny that some of it is like cringe and like, okay, I see how we've evolved as a culture and like certain things aren't necessarily appropriate anymore.
Yeah.
But just still that they can still laugh at some of those same things in those shows. So and at least you have those that like there's a pool of seasons that you can kind of go back on and watch those to relive some of your favorite.
And then you like reminisce, and it's so funny because I'll have like a random old show, like their theme song pop in my head, you know. Like Family Matters is one that pops in my head. They had a good theme song, and like Step by Step 2, and like Growing Pains.
Yes.
So, you know, it's so funny whenever those kind of come back. But I know that's a great, binging TV is like just, I don't know, it's such a de-stressor sometimes. Because I think it just takes you away to like another place. So.
It lets you put yourself in another world, you know? So, yeah, I love a good binge. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to like watch a whole season of a show in 24 hours because I'm good for it. If it's good, I'm going to commit. Yeah. But it's hard because then you're sad because it's over. And then you have to wait for the next season or if it's the end, then it sucks because they probably didn't wrap it up the way you wish that they would have.
Oh, my God.
Or whatever.
That could be a whole episode of failed TV show finales. I got a lot of feelings on several finales, honestly.
So you see our passion for TV. But one of the other things I think is fun to get to do with the kids is like the festivals. Like here there are so many. There's a festival for everything. The Fried Chicken Festival is coming up.
Oh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I'm here for that.
There is a Fried Chicken Festival. There's the French Quarter Festival, Jazz Fest. I mean,
Jambalaya Fest.
Blues Festival. Yep. I mean, there is a festival for everything.
If the weather is nice, because look, I'm not trying to go sweat. We're in the season right now of you got to change your clothes halfway through the day if you go outside because they're soaking wet. So if it's a nice time, I am all for like being outdoors. Like we've done the Baton Rouge Blues Festival and that was really fun because when you go to these festivals, it's like an array of people cooking. So like you get to taste things you may have never had the opportunity, you know, because it might be restaurants that have come down from North Louisiana or come up from the coast or whatnot. And so doing those type of things is really cool because you get to just taste things, and then there's typically music, like, you know. Yeah, we're party people down here, so it's a festival is a good time.
It's more free-spirited, kind of just fun and outdoor, and I mean, right now it's a little too hot, so hopefully they hold off to some of those until, you know, a little bit more into the fall, but then they're competing with football season out here. So.
I know, which that's another really big deal for, like, staycations is, like, the football games. I mean, because we've got LSU, which has a huge following. We have the Saints that have a huge following. Because really, those are really our only two mainstream sports teams. I mean, I feel like the Pelicans basketball is like kind of picked up speed. It still doesn't have the following that football has here. I think football is just king. Yeah. And then we recently got an ice hockey team. I don't know if you heard about that.
I saw that. I'm tempted to just test it out. Yeah. I mean, why not? It's an experience.
I would go. So doing stuff like that, I mean, whenever I worked student housing, we used to have people rent. I worked in like a luxury complex, and we had half of our people were people who rented apartments all year long to only use them for the 6 or 7 games that we had. Like, that's literally all they had the apartment for.
It might have been cheaper than a hotel.
I mean, you think about paying, you know, I mean, a hotel could cost you a couple $1,000, you know, leading up to that game day. Well, you spread that, you're basically just spreading it out over the year. Then you have it to use for other things too. I mean, you know, if you live in somewhere where you could like short-term rental that thing when you're not using it.
Look at that sound business advice from a realtor.
You could really turn it into something good, but it's one of those things that I think that's a huge draw, and we love that. That I hadn't really thought about that as being a staycation, but that is like an all-day thing, like
a game.
Yeah, if you're going, you know, if you go tailgate, You are hanging out, cooking, eating, drinking, dancing, music, you know, like the whole thing. It's like a mini festival in itself.
Oh, every game,
every game, especially that. Did y'all go to the LSU versus Southern game last year?
We did not. We knew it would be just mass. Like, I think we got caught in the traffic going somewhere, and it was like, what were we thinking? Shut down the entire city. But we do home games, but we will always do like the home games with the smaller schools, like the bigger ones, like, you know, the Alabama game, or things like that. Like we're gonna watch those at home instead of being in the mass pandemonium of everything, because it's serious.
We brought Levi to the LSU versus Southern game last year, which is our two local teams here in Baton Rouge, and it was. Me and Dustin were like, this was such a awesome game to bring him to, because it was such a coming together of the communities that it was like, it was just different because everybody was a Louisianian, you know, everybody, there was no ugly rivalry of like, we want to win. It was one of those games that you really just wanted both of them. You wanted everybody to win.
That was the staycation of football games.
That was the staycation of football games. Like, ultimate staycation football game there. But, so those are some great ideas that I think, you know, you can take and apply to your own town or city and have a great staycation. I mean, it could be at home. It could be at a hotel. It could be at a festival, or maybe you're doing a week of restaurant dinners and, you know, and you took the week off and you're just going to hang out and do all the fun things in your own city. So hopefully you become a tourist in your own town, or maybe just a homebody in your own town.
That works too. Love your home.
Yep.
If you don't, you know,
call a realtor. Call us. We'll connect you with a great realtor, whether you're in Baton Rouge or not. So anyway, well, that is all for this week, and we would love to know your favorite staycation things that you have done. So if there's something that we have missed in Baton Rouge that you're like, you got to do this, we want to know about it. And what are you doing in your own town? That is a great staycation idea. So send us that. We're always on Instagram. So, all right, we will see you guys next time. Bye.